Okay, everybody. Well, welcome to our October 3rd Team Rise call. And it's always good to connect once a month and just celebrate what happened the previous month and get a game plan for what we're going to do during the current month. So I would just love to hear from any of you on a win that you had this month or a wow, just something that you learned in the process of work in the business, and would just love for you guys to share. All right. I love that picture, Louie. Oh, there you go. Your picture is that one with the, I don't know what was on your face, but it had your profile picture. Is that your Facebook picture? Louie, can you hear me? That was cute.
Might not be able to hear you.
Okay. So
for me, a win was playing the game because it forced me to be very intentional for the month of September. And you really do see like seeds that are planted. You might not get that customer right away or team members or things like that, but as you just continue to do the work, I think that's what always amazes me about this business is, oh yeah, there's a picture.
There's that picture. I love that.
What always amazes me is, you know, the work that you put in, you will see results if you stay in line, if you don't give up. And so I had a big month for customers and got a new team member, Louie. Would like to introduce him to Team Rise. So glad you're able to join the call.
Hi, Louie.
Hey. Hi. I'm so happy to join the team.
Very good. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
So I know the game is something that stretches all of us, even me. This game in particular was one that really made us touch every aspect of our business. And I found it was very challenging to do something every day. I mean, just trying to be consistent about that, just to touch it every day. And I didn't expect that because, you know, for years I've done this and I do it consistently. But on days when you have a lot going, trying to squeeze something in really required you being intentional. And so I got that from it too. Anybody else want to share a win or a wow?
And your phone does not last very long when there's no power.
Yes. You were a trooper because Leah played the game with us and she was without power in Florida during the game, and she was busy texting and reaching out to people, and that was pretty inspirational to the rest of us. Even when you had no power to post it on Facebook, you were turning in your points. So yeah, what did you gain from that whole experience?
Just hitting it every day because it made you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I even found myself doing it on Saturdays, even though I'd done it the rest of the week. It was just like it became habit. So
yeah, that right there is the best thing that we can do to support our business, is create the habit of touching every day, isn't it? So anybody else want to share something, that a win or a wow from this month?
I had a customer that I have been dripping on for the last year and a half, probably, that decided to order, and she ordered it all. And so it was a really neat thing, and she is so happy. I just checked on her yesterday, and she's been on it for 2 weeks now, and she is loving it. Her husband's now on board, and so it just reminded me that timing is everything, and just to keep persistent, because if I had given up, then she would have not had this opportunity.
So tell us how you gently persisted with her.
I see her at school regularly because our kids are in the same class, and I want to invite her to every event, but I would just put out an invitation like, hey, this might interest you if you want to come, and she'd never make it to any of them. And you know, she'd ask how things were going, and you know, in conversation, just asking those questions and just talking in life. And she would see my Facebook post, I think, as well. And so just seeing the consistency of it. And she watched, I don't remember what movie it was. It was a documentary like What the Health or something. And she said that was a big eye opener for her. And she decided that it was time to really start addressing her family's health, and she knew that this would be a good catalyst for it. And so just that gentle conversation throughout the year.
The things that I heard from what you just said is you continued the relationship with her. And when someone says no, it just means they don't KNOW, right? And or it means not now. And all of those are okay. You just keep doing life, you be consistent, and you can see good things coming. I had the same thing happen to me. 6 months later, people say, are you still doing that fruit and vegetable thing? Yeah, I'm a lifer, I admit it. Okay, so great. Anybody else want to share about, go ahead, Chris.
I have a customer who she ordered 4 months ago, and she's been telling everyone about it because she's had, she kind of suffers with some gastroparesis, and so she's had a tremendous change in that.
Nice.
She has some other things too, but she's on it. Her husband's on it. He has psoriasis really bad, and he's seen a significant reduction in redness for that.
That's
and then her two boys are on it as well. But she has decided to join me. So
nice.
I'm like, you're already doing it. You know, you're telling everyone about it. And she's kind of already lined up people that once she signs up, she'll be like to DUD like that same day probably.
Very good.
So that's exciting. And then I had a customer who took a long break, and she's back. And she ordered for her husband too. So that was cool.
That's probably the sweetest thing, isn't it? When somebody gets off and they miss it, and and they come back. Yeah, that's really good. Well, that's exciting. I hope we can have some time at the end of our call just to say if there's any challenges you've had this month that we can kind of talk through. But I wanted to leave Ashley some time because she had some things to share. But we did add, I didn't add my own customers when I put our number on there. I don't know why, because it didn't come up in my it doesn't come up on my sheet. So we had a total of 45 new orders in September. And so when I think about all the lives that impacts, some permanently, some come and go, but you know that you've made an impact because you've had the conversation about fruits and vegetables, you've planted the seeds, and we are farmers after all, right? We plant seeds. And like Barbara was demonstrated, some plants take a long time to grow, some shoot up and they die off, and it's all over the map. The parable really applies to what we do. So anyway, that's good. And I, through the game, planted a lot of seeds. I'm meeting with somebody tonight that has been one of my dream team members for a long time, ever since I met her. And she's coming over tonight. So hopefully she will see the value in doing it. We've been having conversations. So I expect that all the efforts that we made from the game will carry forward for months to come. So that's how you create momentum, is touching it every day too. So Ashley, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we'll see if we have some time at the end.
Yes, I will go through it as quickly as I can go. But for those of you that are new, when we keep referring to the game, there are times where we will take a month and we will just focus as a team, and you'll have like a checklist that they send out and different things that you do, and you add up points, and whoever, sometimes it's individually or as a team, there's usually like cash prize at the end. So it's really fun to go for something when you know that there's a prize. But the work that you do is also the prize, because you do see customers added, you do see team, you do see seeds that are planted. So that's what the game is. And we usually do one the start of the year, if not before.
They're actually talking about doing one in November again. So we'll see who's.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yes. So, okay. I want to highlight and hit on team momentum, and just kind of keeping this momentum going that we've started. If you don't feel like you have momentum right now, these are just some tips. And first of all, it starts with you. That's like the first and the foremost. Make sure that we ourselves are focusing on personal development, reading podcasts, listening to them in the car, listening to them while you're cleaning, while you're doing different things, while you're working out. Team calls are so important. Having positive mental nutrition is just as important as physical nutrition. Be super intentional with this. many times your team around you that you have, they won't always do what you say, but they watch what you do, and they'll do what you do. So you cannot ever force anyone to run, but you can inspire them by being the best distributor on your team. Lenora always tells me that, and it's so true. Touch your business every day, unless you have, like Lenora tries to not touch her business on Sunday. That's just a personal rule that she has. And if you have a day of rest, that's awesome. But don't let that continue to go for the entire week.
No weeks off.
Try to touch. No. Try to touch your business. Yeah. Try to touch it at least once every day, even if that is I lost my place. Even if that's just a text blitz, even if that's doing customer care, or if that's listening to a podcast for some personal development, be consistently consistent. I love that. Events are huge. I encourage, and what I've kind of seen to be successful is to have at least one live event a month. And maybe that live event is a coffee date. Maybe it's opening up your home face to face, and encourage your team, people around you, to do the same. And then you have a lot of events to invite guests to. Virtual events are great. Zoom, this is a great way. We just did a healthy living event over Zoom, and that's a way to get people into your home or into the event that don't live near you. As you have those new team members, stay with them. It's the baby stage. As quickly as possible, get them comfortable with sharing, and hitting up the mission-driven model is huge. That is our go-to. You're going to hear that said over and over again. Bring it back to that. You need to know it and help your team know it as well. The friends and family call, we're going to be doing that with Louie here next week, Lenora and I, and just another great way, just no pressure call, but explain what we're doing. And a lot of times people will get excited and want to know more. Just like our customers need product wins to stay connected, like we've shared on some of our wins, we as team members, we need business wins to stay connected and moving forward. So check in with your team regularly, which is what we're doing here, and just kind of throughout the week. Love people where they're at, but encourage them to grow. Our team, we all need weekly attention, just like our prospects and customers. And I love that our team has the weekly touch points. Our Monday afternoon Voxer, where we check in. We've just changed it to the first Tuesday of the month Zoom call. It just seems to work better. There's a lot of calls going on Monday. So the first Tuesdays of the month, have those things in your calendar. Have the conferences and the regionals in your calendar, because it's so easy to plan over things. Life is so busy and so hectic and so crazy that if those big rocks aren't in there, if those things aren't on your calendar, then we'll miss out. And those are always great to invite people to. Three-way calls, you're going to hear that over and over again, whether by Zoom or on the phone. You will always hear seven-figure earners talk about three-way calls, going back to the basics of, Sarah and I were just talking about this, just very casually. Hey, I would love to introduce you to the person that shared Juice Plus with me. I'm still learning, so I would love for you to hear their story. Would you join me on a call? Just simple, easy, but I've had the most success with new customers and new team by getting Lenora on a call and having her share, because she's been doing it for 23 years now, you said?
Yeah, well, I've been taking it 23 years, 22 years in the business.
So awesome.
Yeah.
Celebrate wins. I think we do a really good job with that, but you could never over-recognize someone. Sometimes you could, maybe if you wanted to plan it this way, if you wanted to take one team member a month and highlight them on your Facebook page, I can do better at this too. Just encouraging them, highlighting people, giving them that pat on the back for things that they've done and accomplished, especially as they're starting out. Have team events every once in a while. We do that sometimes. Like we've had dream board events, appreciation dinner. We actually did a team 5K color run a couple years ago, which was really fun. The competitions, the healthy competitions, are always fun to keep that momentum going. We have one leading up to we usually do one leading up to every conference, and the In It to Win It game. Don't push people, but always build, always help people learn and grow and stay laser focused on your next goal. This one's huge. Your daily method of operation, your DMO. Plan your work, usually Sunday night, or if you don't work on Sundays, a Saturday night, a Monday morning is a great time to, there's DMOs that we can email you, or you can find them in your, the mission-driven model. Fill out who you're going to talk to, the 2x2x2. And then at the end of every week, and I can even send this to you, there's 3 great reflection questions. So this week, what has gone well? What has not gone well? What will I do differently this next week? Because when you acknowledge what went not so good, you're like less likely to repeat that. And when you acknowledge what went good, you're more likely to repeat that. I love this quote, small tweaks lead to great peaks. So if you have a conversation that you felt, which I always share this with people in the beginning, I would fire hose people with passion and excitement. And I had to step back and say, okay, how can I drip? And how can I just invite someone and, or invite them to a call and let the call speak for it? And I've seen over the past 4 years that I've done this business, little tweaks that I've made have over time been really huge for myself personally and for my business. Reach down, like every month you'll get a PVC report on your team members. And it's okay to reach down and introduce yourself to people that you don't know and just welcome them to Team Rise. Let them know that you are on the same team and you're there to support and help in any way that you can, because this really is a relational business. And that's another reason why people will stay, is the community and the friendships and just this Juice Plus family that we have. I love the story. There's a lady named Alita. She is under Chris and Nikki Cotton. And Chris and Nikki actually reached down and introduced themselves to Alita, and now she's a national marketing director. So you never know. Make sure they're on the Voxer and the Facebook pages. They know about events. At the end of the day, we can't control what people around us do, but we can control what we do. And if someone walks away from the business or the team, I want them to walk away knowing that they are loved, they are valued, and there's always a place for them, because you never know, they just might come back. And the last thing I want to end with is this analogy that I love. You will be successful if you not only stay in line, but you stay connected to the team. So if you picture coal, say there's a campfire that's burning, the fire goes out. The best way to put a fire out is to separate the coal. So you want to keep, if you keep that coal together, you're going to keep that fire and that passion going. But the easiest way to put out a fire is to separate the coal and get them individual. So if you feel yourself getting cold in the business or not really, moving forward, look and say, okay, have I detached? Has life gotten too crazy? Has life gotten too busy? How can I get connected? What call can I get on this week? What event can I do? Who can I talk to? I've had phone calls with Sonora countless times, like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. What's going on? And it just helps sometimes to have that encouragement and to plug in and stay connected. So those are a few things that I personally have found that have helped me build momentum. I know it was pretty quick, so I can send the notes, but I just wanted to share and hopefully some little nuggets were helpful.
Exactly. Thank you, Ashley. And if you guys didn't get to tune in to going through starting up a new distributor, because a lot of what Ashley talked about is on the 2 checklists. There's a getting started checklist for distributors, and there's a sponsor checklist now that we did a team training on the 28th. And I encourage you, if you haven't seen that, to look at it, because it'll take away any anxiety you have about sponsoring people. But so many good nuggets in what you said. I want to just have you think, when she's talking about planning out your week, there are events every single week that you can use, and because it's so much easier to say to people, what are you doing on Tuesday, than to say, how are you doing with your fruit and vegetable intake? So if you can invite them to one of the the Take Healthy Back calls that are sponsored Tuesday, Wednesday, or Saturday, it's such a great exposure, and it takes the pressure off of you of having to say everything correctly. There are people on there that are just as excited about it as you, so it lends the credibility that somebody else is saying the same stuff that you are. It makes it bigger than just you and them. So those are great calls. They're on our pinned post on Team Rise. There's a calendar that you can click on because the Zoom links are all on there. And something we discovered, if you guys didn't hear about this week, is that if you have been to a Zoom call like this before, you don't have to find the number ever again. You can go on where you type in the number for which call you're going to get on. There's actually a drop-down menu on the right-hand side, and it says Lenora's personal meeting room. What's that?
Do you know if that's only if you've paid for the Zoom
yes,
upgrade?
I'm sorry. I do think that's correct. It's if you're on Voxer Pro, and I don't worry about whether people are on Voxer Pro until they're at least done their 2,000 plus and they've got the beginning of a team. But it's such a good investment. We used to pay like $10 a month for VoiceCom, and now this is, I think, $36 a year. So it's a really good investment. And on Zoom. No, I'm sorry. I was going to say that I was talking about Voxer and Zoom. Sorry. For those of you listening on the recording, scratch that. Because on Zoom, no, it is a drop-down menu that you should have beside where you put in the number. You're not seeing it?
I didn't see it, but I'll go back and look. That's why I was wondering if it mattered.
It's just
Okay.
a little arrow.
Yeah, I don't have either. There's no arrow for me.
I think
Maybe
it's only if you're paying.
I think it's maybe if you're on the phone. Maybe you're doing it from the phone.
No, I've done it.
It usually do it when we logged in the other way.
Yeah, we just tried when we logged in and it wasn't there. I could be missing it, but
I don't believe I've ever seen it when I've done it.
Do a screenshot for me what you're seeing, and then I can ask that question. So
Okay.
good that you raised up that question.
I saw it when I logged in.
oh, so you saw it.
Okay. The last thing that I wanted to mention to you about, planning out that week, thinking about if I'm not having an event in my home or we're not having a local meeting, what events can I invite to? Because those are the easiest conversations. So I wanted to come back to that. But the other thing that I would ask you is who do you know, or who do you know who knows somebody in Indianapolis? Because we're going to have an awesome event that we can invite to where they're going to see thousands of people who think fruits and vegetables are important. And that would be pretty impressive. So our conference in Indianapolis and the event that anybody can come to at no cost is Thursday, October 19th of the evening. Does anybody know who the speaker is? I haven't looked that up. Okay, we'll get that on Team Rise so you can see who it is. But be thinking about who you know in Indianapolis, because you'd never have a chance to make a bigger impression than.
Thursday night last year, it was really early.
So they'd probably come straight from work because they've been doing them early at the request, they say, of the field. So. Anyway, anybody have any big challenges that you wanted to have some input on that would help you move forward? Anybody have something they want to share?
Well, I could share something. I would have to admit that, like, with the hurricanes and the flooding that we've been going on in Merritt Island, it has been a challenge, but I am very thankful for you, Lenora, and Ashley for just guiding me through this new endeavor in my life. I also want to touch on the shakes. I've been using the shakes, incorporating it into my workouts with protein, and I've noticed that I don't get shiver chills, because usually after I work out, even with the protein shakes, I still get like shiver chills from being tired. And I noticed that has been minimizing a great deal. And a few days ago, we just ordered our Juice Plus capsules, the trio, and I really can't wait to see what that does for our bodies. It's amazing, and I'm really how to jump onto this thing.
We can't wait for it either. It's probably what gets us up in the morning when people get that. They get to experience Juice Plus. And it's not anything where you're going to take it for 2 days and be ready to leap tall buildings. Trust me, it's a build over time.
No, you're right about that.
Things happen and you kind of go, I wonder if that was the Juice Plus. And then you think, well, I didn't do anything else that's different. It's very subtle, but you can't argue with it.
Yeah.
Do you mean there is now somebody that is less than an hour away from me?
Woohoo!
Yes.
Whoa,
Leah and
where are you?
Lily.
East Orlando.
East Orlando, Merritt Island.
Yay,
Yeah, the
Florida.
water finally the water's finally receded out here. There was like most of our neighborhoods were just like all the streets were covered in water, and now where there's this weird low pressure that's like forming over us. It's very windy right now.
Oh boy. Well, maybe that'll dry it up.
I hope so. I hope so.
Ashley, go ahead.
I just wanted to say yes. This Saturday, the friends and family call. Even if you don't have guests, I would invite for it. But even if you don't have guests, I would encourage everyone to get on. I think Lenora.
Do you mean
you're
friends
sharing-
and family, or do you mean Take Healthy Back?
Sorry, Take Healthy Back. The
Yes.
Take Healthy Back call. Are you sharing, Lenora?
I
think
am,
saw
and
your
so are
name.
you, right? Both of us are
Yeah.
going to be the crew.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether they're interested in the product or the business, or you just want them to see what you're doing. Believe me, it's not a call that's going to make them feel pressured by anything. Just a lot of
Right.
great energy.
Yeah,
So I would
I highly
say, yeah.
Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I know, like Carissa, if getting Nicole on there Saturday, if you can, would be amazing, just because she would get to see Lenora and Ashley. But they're just really great because you don't have to do anything. You can just have them call and then they just watch it. They're very short, 30 minutes, and it goes over everything. So I can't talk highly enough of them. It's like having your own home party, but you get to do it in your pajamas in the morning, 30 minutes, and then you're done and on your way.
And you don't have to
What
clean your
time?
house.
What time are those ones?
9:30 on Saturday. That's Pacific time, so it's 12:30 Eastern for you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would encourage you to jump on if you know, even if you don't have a guest, just to see what it's like, so you're excited to build for the next
Yeah.
one. And Lenore said all the information's posted on Team Rise Facebook page, but if you can't find it, reach out to any of us. And it's Saturday morning, Tuesday evening, 7:15 Pacific Standard Time, and Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard.
Yeah, I was just going to pull it up and show you exactly where it is, if I can do that real quickly, on where it is on our Facebook page. Let me just share my screen right quickly, and then we'll end. So here, I'm going to share my screen, and I need to go here to Team Rise. Everybody can see that? So the pinned post on
Yes.
Team Rise, I don't have any idea why that's on top of the pinned post, but here's the pinned post that says welcome to Team Rise, and it's got the video. And Carissa, a couple things that I would suggest to you, always tag your new distributors with this video, because I say things in there that you might not feel comfortable with saying, that's really going to help somebody get off to a good start with a reasonable expectation of what this business can do for them. And then that training on what to do as a new sponsor. But here's what I'm talking about. This calendar Google, let me pull it up and just show you that it's got all those virtual events, the time that they are. So looking at Saturday that we were talking about, it's 9 o'clock. So Take Healthy Back Zoom call. And if you click on that link, it gives you the Zoom link right there. So you can get on. Okay, makes sense?
Yeah.
Is that helpful? So
Cool.
that
Thanks for showing us that.
that
Yeah, I was
calendar-
thinking the call was 9, so I'm glad we looked. It's
Yeah.
at 9 on Saturday.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know why I said 9:30. Just to keep the recording nice and confusing, I'm sure. But that's always there. Call that's regularly offered is there. Some of you got on the Business Builder call this last week, where we go through the Eric Worre GoPro, and if you've already finished your Fast Track to 2000 Plus, that would be a great series for you to be on, just to build your skill in networking, just to be more effective, be a professional at it. So that's on that calendar too, if you didn't get to take advantage of that this last Monday. We just started with Skill 1 again, and we'll be on Skill 1 next week too. So anything else for the good of the order? We'll call it a day. Thanks for tuning in, and
Thanks,
we'll see
guys.
you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a great
Bye.
day.